Wait, we're rolling? Shoot! This is Raymond Hayden. Welcome to Spin, Stories from the Green Room. Hey, welcome to episode 3. Welcome to episode 3. Gotta make sure everyone's taken care of. Anyway, hey, I appreciate you tuning in to Spin, my newest creation, Stories from the Green Room, Stories from my green room. Hopefully helping to inspire somebody out there watching this. Anyway, today we're gonna talk about my second solo album called September Sky. Now, if we revert back when we talked about my first album, Door With Your Tears, which was released in 2002, that was a solo instrumental piano album. In 2007, 5 years later, September Sky came out, and that is basically a full-blown, that's an album with 17 songs on it. The majority of them, there is one instrumental piano, a short one at the very end, but the majority of that is full-blown band productions, and all but 2 songs on the album I wrote. The first song, which I did not write, which I got permission from the record company, was a Tears for Fears song called Mad World, and the second one was a song called Mystic Rhythm, which I wrote with a good friend of mine, guitarist Dave Sawyer. Dave actually and I have been in a bunch of different bands together, and we actually started knowing each other back in Germany, back in 1987, I think it was. He had a band, I had a band, we did stuff together, we rehearsed in the same place. It's funny how that stuff works out. But anyway, so back to September Sky, 2007 release. So when I talked about Door With Your Tears in the beginning, I talked about how you go through different emotions, different things happening in your life, and that comes out in your music a lot, autobiographically speaking. That's the same thing for September Sky. At the time September Sky was, I was writing it, it was a coping mechanism for me dealing with a divorce. My ex-wife and I went through kind of I don't want to say ugly divorce, but is divorce ever good? Is it? It's really not. And I will just say that, you know, writing, recording, and releasing September Sky literally saved my life. That's another thing I want to do on Spin, is just be honest and be vulnerable and let those friends of mine out there who are watching, or people who maybe aren't friends or new friends, like you back there, I see you still. I see you. You don't have to be shy. Come on forward. Anyway, you know, you're not alone, and it's okay to be mad, and it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to go through it. And part of being an artist, part of going through it is writing about it. And when you're feeling those things, when the pains are the most raw and the emotions are just like, you know, the strongest, that's when you sit down and play your guitar or sing or write or whatever it is you do, that's what you do. And that's what I did with September Sky. The reason the album is called September Sky is because September is the fall. It's the time of change. And because I was going through a divorce and my life was getting ready to change very drastically in ways I didn't even know that it was going to change. Obviously, not only the divorce, but the depression that ensued afterwards, which maybe a lot of people don't know about that, because I had a smiley face on and positive and was doing all kinds of things around that time, like having a record label and doing all that, lifting up other artists. I was very depressed, and I was very sad, and it was a hard time, and it was hard dealing with what I thought was failure and not being loved and supported by someone who, you know, supposedly would do that, and all that kind of stuff, you know, and then watch it, you know, seeing how it affected my son, all that, and I went through that, and I wrote. And so when you listen to September Sky, every single song on that album is about that journey that I was going through. I know a lot of people have asked about that, because some people now are going, I didn't even know you had this album. But the reason I chose Mad World for the cover is because at that time, my world was mad. And I actually, here's just a funny side note, I didn't actually choose it because of Tears for Fears version. I was actually watching an episode of NCIS, and Gary Jules' version of Mad World, which you have not, if you haven't heard that, it's also on Donnie Darko. But Gary Jules covered Mad World by Roland Arzabal from Tears for Fears, and it's super creepy. And I heard that, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to cover that. And the words and the way how it sounded creepy. So I don't do it the way Tears for Fears does it. I don't do it the way Gary Jules does it. I do it the way I do it. And yeah, and it's such a great song. And so that's why I chose that song. It wasn't just because I thought it was a cool song. It's because it actually meant something. Everything on September Sky was intentional, from the way the songs were written to the way it was recorded, which, like Door With Your Tears, Also, I took the band and we got a A-frame at Copalis Beach out on Ocean Shores, and for a week we recorded the whole thing out there and had a great time connecting with each other. And anyway, so there you have it. That's how September Sky was written. That's what it was about. And the takeaway from this is you're not alone. You're never alone. If you're dealing with pain, if you're dealing with heartache, divorce, loss of someone you love, loss of a job, something severe, health issues, whatever it is, reach out, go through it, write about it, draw about it, do something because you're worth it. Thanks for tuning in to Spin.